People. You must stop engaging in this low-grade behavior. You must. You know, low-grade behavior comes in many forms. Now, I just saw a guy, I'm driving down the road, and I just saw a guy holding a 40-ounce bottle, right? And I guess he had finished it, and he was pouring it out, you know, the last of it, the contents on the ground. And then he took the bottle and he threw it on the sidewalk, right? And broke it open. Glass was everywhere, right? I saw this in a moment as I passed him. Now, the interesting thing was, when I looked up ahead, right, this guy, there was a trash can right in front of this guy. And I told you guys in another video, I don't even recall it, just look in my archive somewhere, you'll find it. But in another video somewhere, I did speak on this very thing, right? Because, you know, a blighted area is not necessarily due to the area aging or just, you know, falling down on its own. It's always the populace. It's always the people who are literally living in these areas. And the blightness is not really, it's physical, obviously, but it's more mental. It's more mental. Now, let me explain what I mean by this, folks. When I say mental, I mean, you know, the trash, yes, obviously we see the trash on the ground, but in reality, the trash is up in here. It's up here in the mind. You get what I'm saying? You know, the trash is in the mind of the person. And that's real, right? And I hope this glare isn't too bad, folks, on this camera, but you know, the sun is out today. It's pretty nice. I'm going to take advantage of this. But really, you know, I witnessed this firsthand. It was low-grade behavior at its best. And it made me think, you know. And actually, I wouldn't be caught dead living in that area. I wouldn't be caught alive living in that area. It's a better way to say that, because I'm alive. But I wouldn't be caught alive living in that area. I was just passing through. There was a stoplight, you know, bam. You know, we're going through this area. And I saw this. Now, for all of you people, I remember having a great debate in one of these barbershops or one of these gatherings somewhere. I remember someone was talking. I had to interrupt them and point out to them that the people that you're blaming for the blightness of your area or the blighted conditions that you have where you live at are your own doing. And to which I remember saying to this guy, I said, all of that urine that you have on your sidewalk outside of your business or broken bottles or something, when you have these situations in these neighborhoods, in these communities, it's not really the store itself. The storefront is just a storefront. It could be anything. It could be any type of business there. But the reason why businesses don't succeed and they fail horribly and miserably is simply because of the mental state of the people who live in such an area. And you guys know I'm telling the truth, because in many of your communities where you live at, in your states or wherever, you know, your countries, there's a lot of blighted conditions all around. And until you guys actually pick up a broom and get out there and start picking up that trash and stuff, you're going to have that type of area. And no one in property values and homes or anything in these areas are going to be worth anything. And that is really a fact, you know. How would you expect me as a businessman or an investor or something, or real estate, why would I want to even come in this community? Yes, you know. There may be some situations that there's something going on out here, guys. Oh. And there's something going on out here, guys. I guess it was a major accident or something. Wow, that's bad. But, you know, like I was saying, though, you know, it's going to take someone picking up a broom, you know, a shovel or something, getting a paint bucket out, paintbrush, and doing some work in the community, some real work. And also, while you're at it, instead of just actually physically cleaning up something, you need to be prepared to have a conversation, a stern conversation with the residents of such an area. Because obviously the blight is in their mind. And that's the problem. Simply. You know, I really, really am troubled by this stuff. Right? Then the other day, when I was at the store, I stopped by a little store, and I was coming out of the store getting in my car, and I noticed that there were some cars parked along in the parking lot alongside of me. And, you know, there was some guy crouched over taking the air caps off of a particular vehicle, right? And, you know, he walked away, right? And left the little bear, took the cap covers off. And it was crazy, because I was like, really? So you're in such a state of you have such a blighted mind, I'll say. The conditions of your mind are so low functioning and so low level that instead of just going to, you know, your typical auto parts store or something, paying a couple of bucks and getting your own for your car, you decide, well, it's more convenient to just take from this person right here, right? And that is really tragic, right? When you really think about, you know, what a person will be willing to do in these situations. I mean, it's ridiculous. So there are low-level people all around us. And, you know, and if you guys want to know why, there's always a cause to fight for. There's always something that, you know, that has to be done. Let me move this back. When you guys want to know that why you always have to rally in the community and, you know, and make efforts to clean up or do something like that, you have to understand that, you know, it's the people. So yeah, you can have a bleeding heart, but if you're not prepared to work on these people on a psychological level, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. You can dump all of the money you want in the world into a community. But if someone's going to walk literally maybe 3 steps, now, you know what, I'll be fair. Let's say it was about 5 feet from him. The trash can was literally 5 feet up ahead of him. And instead of just, you know, dumping that bottle, the contents or whatever, and he could have just simply thrown it in the trash can. The trash bin was right there. And it's just sad. You know, I shook my head like, damn, you know, this is where these people live at. This is how they live, you know. And it was just tragic. You know, that behavior, always expecting someone to bail you out and do something for you. I was talking to someone yesterday, you know. I haven't told you guys, I have a book out. Y'all can check it out on Amazon. It's called I Love Bad Behavior. And you can look up Kirby Kilroy on Amazon and you'll get the same result. And, you know, I was talking to, well, an old associate I hadn't talked to in a while who gave me a call and told me that they heard I had a book out and, you know, they said they wanted to get a hookup. You know, instead of them just, you know, being a patron to me, you know, and supporting me, they decided that, hey, you know, since I knew this guy back in 2nd grade or something, I'll just ask him for a copy of the book, right? And I wonder if authors like James Patterson, do they go through do stuff like this? You know? And see, what I'm trying to explain to you folks on that end is that, you know, you're only going to pay for what you find value in. And you guys know what I'm talking about, you know. This person, the last time I saw this particular person, they were dressed head to toe in brand new athletic apparel, right? And we were out in the sports field that day. And so, you know, fair enough, you know. They wanted to look nice, but my point I'm making is that they were willing to spend, you know, I could price I mean, I don't want to price anybody, but, you know, the cap they had on was a Nike cap or something. I'm sure that cap cost about maybe 25 bucks or something. You know, the sweatshirt they had on and sweatpants and everything matched. I think they had on a pair of Air Jordans. So collectively, you know, there was a couple of $100s they were wearing right before my eyes. So these people cannot fork over a couple of bucks for a book. However, they can dress head to toe, dress to the nines, the latest fashions, you know, jewelry, watches, all of this stuff, the material things. So people only pay for things that they feel have value. And that's the thing. And that's okay. It's okay in life to do that. You pay for what you work for, right? But the problem I'm having is that you want me to give you something free that I work for. You get what I'm saying? So I'm troubled by the way people think in general. The way people think, the freeloading mentality is why people expect people to come into their communities and clean it up for them, right? This is why people do these things. They expect people, because I'm up here at this store. I need to run up in the store for a minute. I'm doing some things today, guys. Bear with me. You know, oh man, had a whole lot of stuff to do today. Now I'll stop right here and we'll just finish this conversation up. What I want you people to understand, whoa man, I think I'll just stop for a minute. Oh, jeez. Now, folks, the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, there's no problem with giving this guy a copy of the book. I could have easily, you know, had one sent to him or something. But the point I'm making is that, for one, I hadn't talked to this guy in a while, right? And that's the point I'm trying to make. I hadn't spoken to him in a while. He heard about something, you know, got in touch with me. Hadn't previously got in touch with me just to see how I was doing or something like that. Had, you know, catch up on old times or something, you know. And the last time I saw him, like I told you guys, you know, he looked like he was doing pretty good. He owns a store. So, you know, it's not like he needs money. But the whole freeloaders mentality is to take from people, you know, at the most opportune time, right? You know, instead of, you know, working for things for yourself, you want someone to give it to you. You get what I'm saying? So if that's the community, you want someone else to come out there with that broom, you know, in the crack of dawn or something, with a cleaning crew somewhere, and start picking up glass bottles and trash and fucking crack, you know, pipe stems or whatever the hell these things are that these people do. And that's what I'm saying, folks. I mean, you know, blighted communities are simply a result of what's going on right here. And if you want to change something in that community, don't just keep talking about it. Go out there, mobilize, get people on the ground, start cleaning your fucking communities up. And and don't allow the assholes to permeate your communities, because they are the problem as well. You have to get rid of these people, right? You have to do something, right? People don't understand that business developers don't want people who have this type of bad thinking to live in their areas, because these people are lazy. They don't work anywhere. They're going to piss on the fucking sidewalks. They're going to throw glass and bottles and shit everywhere. And they're going to ruin the community, right? So, you know, for those people, you know, and like myself, you know, who live in communities that are decent, we don't want bad people in our communities. I'm sorry. I don't really care what you think about this, because I've seen this enough. I just told you guys that I just saw what this guy did, right? Trash can maybe 5 feet ahead of him or something. And he passed the trash can after he threw the bottle and shattered it on the sidewalk. He passed the trash can. And that's just sad. Also, let me let to any of my other associates, let me let you know something, right? If you were not really close, if I haven't heard from you in a while and I don't know what you're up to, right? Don't call me and expect me to give you something for free, because, you know, just because, you know, back in 2nd grade, you know, we played on the same, you know, softball or something. I mean, whatever. I'm just giving you examples of how people think. And that's low grade thinking in general, right? Right? Their minds are polluted. And if you can fix their minds and help them think better, then everything will be okay. And that's why at Think Behavior, we talk about these things. We want to push people in the direction. We want to challenge people to think about how their conditions became the way they are. Because, see, that is bad behavior, folks. Behavior is everything, whether you know it or not. Behavior, when people get murdered, there's some behavior associated with that murder. When people steal and rob and harm other people, there's some type of low-grade, low-functioning, negative behavior associated with such a thing, right? Or such acts. And you guys know what I'm saying. You know I'm being serious about this. So the next time, you know, you see that bottle, you know, shattered all over the sidewalk somewhere in the park, and your kids cut their foot running and playing or something, think about what you allowed into your community. Think about that. Give it some really, really, really hard thought. Because once you do that, you'll realize there's a solution. The solution is pretty simple. The solution is to mobilize, get that community straight, and get these people the hell out of there. Okay? So I'm not going to talk too much longer. I have to go in the store and get some things. I'm going to work out in the yard today and, try to get some stuff done. And, and I don't have to worry about broken bottles and fucking, all types of crazy shit, right? I can remember one time in the city, there was a guy, there was an older guy who used to fix like bicycles and stuff on the side, and he had hit a little old house. Actually, I knew him from the church community because the church donated a lot of stuff to this old man, but he would try to tend to a garden. He had a little city garden is what I call it, outside of his side, on the sidewalk or something, outside of his house, right? And, he successfully had this garden working. But the problem with that was, he showed me all the little stuff he had growing. He had like some fucking tomato plants and shit and all this. But the problem was that there was trash strewn about within the garden. Just a picture of that for a minute. Imagine someone showing you their garden and they're going to eat this stuff. And there's like cigarette butts in between the rows of tomatoes and fucking broken bottle tops and little pieces of shards of glass and shit, and it's just sad that people actually are living like this. He didn't even think enough to pick up the trash. And I said, oh, that's a nice garden. I told him some bullshit or something. But my point I'm making is I was like, damn, I would never eat anything from there, right? And then you think about these people who donate fruit and stuff and whatever they're growing, and they're living in these places. Like, do you want to eat this shit? So I want you guys to think about that. I'm getting ready to run in the store. Like I said, check my book out on Amazon. I Love Bad Behavior. Kirby Kilroy. Pretty good read. And you guys have a pretty good day. I love bad behavior, folks. I do. But I don't love freeloaders. I don't love people who are not right up here, because this is how we see the things that I've seen today. And it's really troubling. So you folks have a great day. Like the videos, share the videos, and I take subscriptions, y'all. Have a nice one.